Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this first video catechism for ages 9 to 12, 11. Well, it's a bit of wide gap of age, a round of age, so I hope it would be interesting enough for everybody. So you have got these two documents. Well, in one document is on the description of the video, and also you would find this document to download and print at home before you continue watching this video. You can download and print them directly from the website of the Institute, icsp.org.uk. So enjoy the watching, and we're going to work a little bit together. So we're going to have a catechism together about this what we call the sacraments of the Church, the seven sacraments of the Catholic Church. You've probably heard this word already, because you're 9, so you have probably received already the sacrament of baptism. You have already probably received First Holy Communion, and therefore you've probably also made your first confession. So now we are going to go step by step and go through every sacrament. First, a general understanding of what a sacrament is. Secondly, why and how many, and how we can divide them. So we have about 20 minutes together. I'm not going to cover all the topic, but I want you to be very careful and follow my explanations. Unfortunately, there is no questions and answer, direct question and answer, so I would slow down and repeat a few times the important matters of this regarding the sacraments. So this is the first one, about the general introduction to the 7 sacraments. You've got here, you have before you, I know you can't see it on the video very well because it's small fonts, but you can see I've printed out questions and answer which will be able to help you after you have watched this video. These questions and answer here could help you to as a reminder, so keep that somewhere, and if you need, you could have it. It's only a reminder, a help, a guide for a bit later on. But I am definitely going to cover these questions during this class. On the second page here, which is we're about to use through these explanations today, I want you to take a pen with you, and we are going to fill the right column of this document. You've probably know the answers, but we're going to go through this. First of all, we are human, and we are human person. Every single person has common or share the same qualities, whether they're young, whether they are older, we're adults or children. We have got the same qualities to form a person, to make you human. What do What did God use? There are three main elements, two visible and one invisible. So that means there are three elements of the to form a person, to form yourself. Just think about it now. Question: which elements form your person, who you are? You are a human person because you have first a body different from others, from other people, I mean. Secondly, you've got flesh. Secondly, you have blood inside your body to flow around your body. So this is the second visible elements. So these two elements form your body is made of flesh and blood. This body comes from your mom and dad, of course. You're from your parents, so they gave you your flesh. And there is another element which is more important, and even more important than your body, is your soul, your heart. What we call that the heart, my soul. If I am only a body, my body cannot think, love, and feel. No, if I am a full human person, I need to think and love. These two, I understand what I'm being told, hopefully. I can figure out things and also I can study. I can write my thoughts on a piece of paper. I can understand different situations. I can combine them. I can, again, as I said, I can figure out as a human person, as opposed to animals. And this is the big difference between me and an animal, between you and your dog, if you've got any, or your rabbit, or a little bird, or a fish in the sea. We are human persons because we, as opposed to animals, we can figure out. Because we have a soul. And the reason why we can understand is the soul. The reason why we can love one another and live together, form a family, is the soul. Have you ever seen your rabbit understanding a question and give you an answer to a difficult question? No. They can communicate one to the other, or you can just sort of have a very, very basic communication with the rabbit. But the rabbit doesn't tell you a lot, and the rabbit doesn't understand as such. The rabbit cannot read a text or a book and tell you what the book was about. The rabbit can't. Well, animals cannot. They don't. They can remember a few things. They can feel a few things. They know, for instance, basic things which are where is their food, they remember. Where is their home, they can remember that. They feel what is dangerous for them and what is not, what is safe, what is dangerous. They can see, your dog sees that if he jumps into from this cliff, it is dangerous. He knows that. They all know that jumping off the cliff is a danger. He puts his own life at risk, of course, as we do. But this is the instinct, right? That's a bit too complex, probably. But the animal feels many things, and they also they understand who is the master, who feeds them. Their relationship with their master is, who feeds me? Answer, my master. Right, this is very basic, isn't it? And this is how they are in relationship with you. Your dog or your rabbit is in relationship with you because you feed and you care for them. But that's all. They don't plan to form a family with you. They don't share their experiences or their understanding of what they read last night and etc. Okay, so this is a fundamental and a big difference between you and your dog or your cat. You understand. You can live in a community for a long life community, not a brief community and then they disband, as most animals do. So we have differences with animals, intelligence and will. We understand and we love other people, and this is not because other people are feeding us. You don't love mom and dad only because they feed you and they give you a nice home, or even not because they give you some education or formation or protection. Not only. You love them because they are your parents, and that's it. You love your friends because you love your friends. You've got a good friend at school or during your holidays, and you love them, and there is no real reason why. Well, you get on very well, but you're not loving your friends because you expect something from them at all time. No, you love them, and there is a je ne sais quoi which makes you love this person and maybe better, more than this other one. So intelligence, I understand and I love. These two elements, understand and love, are the actions of my soul. They are the expressions of my soul. Who I am deeply is not my body, it's my soul. When you want to describe when someone says, what do you think about this person? Can you describe me, your neighbor? And you would start by saying, yeah, the basics is tall, old. Well, this is basic, but it doesn't say very much of the very person. But if you want to describe your neighbor, you would have to say, my neighbor or my friend, he or she loves or she likes going for a walk, she likes playing football, she likes caring for animals, she likes gardening, etc. So you would describe your friend or someone else or anyone by what the person likes, what the person understands, not just the way the person looks, because can change a lot, doesn't it? Right. So body and soul. So I have been a bit long on the explanation of the soul, and we say that the soul is inside the body. You don't see your soul. No one can see his own soul, because the soul is invisible. You cannot see it, you cannot touch it. The soul is a spirit. We call this spiritual. Remember this. The soul is spiritual because the soul has is not a body. Unlike to the angels, they are spirits because they have no body. We have a body which is different from our soul. They are united and strongly united and deeply united by God at the creation. And as I said at the beginning, your body was formed by your parents, and your soul is created out of nothing by God. God creates your soul out of nothing, and He places your soul inside your body to, what we say, animates your body. He makes your body, living, as I'm doing at the moment. Alive. He makes you alive. Your soul, your body without soul, is not alive, cannot live. We cannot live without our own soul. And this is very important. We care for our body, but we must care even more for our soul, because the soul is who we are. Essentially, we are closer to our soul. Our soul is the better expression of who we are than our body. The problem is our soul is invisible, so it's hard to care. But there is a parallel, and this is where we are here. I've explained this first phrase. Human life is body and soul. This is how it works. Our life is made of caring for our body and caring for our soul, because the life without one of the elements is not human. We care for the body and we care for our soul. Right. There is a history for the body and there is a history for our soul, and they come together until we die, when they separate, because that's a consequence of the original sin. Body and soul separate. This is called death. We are not to that point, not yet to that point. Okay. So see the list of the visible care for our body. What we are doing visibly for our body is going to be similar, not exactly the same care for our soul, of course, but how we care for our body would be similar, more or less, the same as the care for our soul. Or I would say the other way around, probably. The care for our soul would be similar to the care we have for our body. On different levels, in different ways. But the idea is, what I do for my body, it would be completely, I would look insane or mad if I would stop caring for my body. Everybody would say, Canon Monjoy is bonkers, isn't he? He is not caring for his body. He's not doing anything. He's not taking medication when he's sick. He's not even looking after himself. He's not sleeping anymore. He doesn't eat anymore. So, and this would be, I would look very stupid. And you would look very stupid. And your parents would look very, would look weird to others if they stop caring for your body, if they stop feeding you, if they stop protecting you. And they would look, it would even sound a bit, a bit wicked, wouldn't it? So, if I stop caring for my body, I look stupid. If I stop looking after my soul, which is even more important than my body, I would look even more stupid, don't I? Stop caring for your body, it doesn't look good. Stop caring for your soul, it's even worse. Well, let's go through the history of my body, the visible life. What do we do? What happens? First of all, my body comes to this, visibly, I come to this world by birth. Naturally. By birth. As a baby. So my body comes alive. And what happened to my soul? How does my soul receive life? My body receives life in formation and basically by the birth, the birthing. But my soul also receives some life. This life is not the life of my parents, as it happens by birth or in my own birth. But there is another life which comes, which is the life of God, and this is very important. My soul lives because it receives another kind of life which is called the divine life. God invisibly comes into you. This is, we call a divine birth of the soul. There is a human birth of the body, and there is a divine birth of the soul to another life. And this moment is called baptism. The baptism is the very moment when we are born to a new life, which is the life of God. God comes in us, in our soul, and dwells in us, establishes his own life, gives us his own life and we partake. We don't become God, but in our soul we partake with God's own life. This is the birth of the baptism. So we can write here clearly on our piece of paper, here, you can write here baptism. Very good. The second one, your parents care for you, and of course the first care is food. If they stop feeding you, your body fails, and so it's one of the first need of the body is food. The Church, God provides food to the soul, not the visible one, as you understand. He feeds my soul with a non-human food. You've probably got the answer. Yes. So what we naturally do with our body, food, we feed, we do it for our soul. We have to do the same. If you stop feeding, if you stop eating, or if you stop asking some food, you will have problems probably. You won't survive for long. I've said it probably. In the soul, when we feed our soul with a regular divine food, as the divine life is given, we are given a divine food to the soul, which is obviously not visible essentially, but is visible in a way. This food is called the blessed sacrament. In the Blessed Sacrament, at Mass, when the priest says, "This is my body and this is my blood," the host and the wine both become the true body, blood, soul and divinity of Jesus at the Mass. At the consecration, when the priest says, "This is my body, this is my blood," these two, bread and wine, become Christ himself, and Christ comes to feed the soul. He places himself in a small piece of bread, no longer bread after the consecration, and this piece of bread, the Blessed Sacrament, the Holy Eucharist, is Christ himself under the appearances, we call that the veil of the bread, but inside inside the bread, it's Christ. Christ is, so the bread is no longer bread. So the bread is supposed to feed the body, but this bread, completely changed into Christ, keeps feeding, but not the body, but this host, the little host, round and white you see at Mass, this host, no longer bread, still feeds people, but they don't feed the body because they are no longer bread, but they are here to feed the soul of those who receive, the communicants who make their communion. When you receive the Blessed Sacrament at Mass, the communion, Holy Communion at Mass, you are fed. Christ comes to feed not your body, but your soul. But it helps, but he would help us to understand that we are fed by eating. Receiving the communion is eating. We eat the hosts as we would eat any food. But this action of eating or receiving some food is here not to feed the body, but it does explain us, or it does show, or it does express how that our soul is fed by Christ. That's why we eat the host, we receive the host on the tongue and we swallow the host. We feel that we are fed better, not for the body, but we are fed in our soul through the symbol we receive, through the fact of eating. The host is not a symbol. Don't get it wrong. So the host is the real body of Christ, soul and divinity, body, blood, soul and divinity of Christ. But the symbol is, by eating, there is here a symbol, it does have a sign which does help us to understand we feed our soul. Therefore, before going into details, because this is not the time, we can write, I forgot the important word here. You have before food, well, on the right hand side, we write Holy Eucharist. I just missed the holy in my typing, but you can add it on writing. Holy Eucharist, 2 words. Holy Eucharist or Blessed Sacrament. This is the same. Or Sacred Host. These expressions are all the same to designate the very divine food. We have done 20 plus minutes for this session. So I will continue on the next one in a few days with other sacraments, but just keep this with you. And next time you want to watch on the next video catechism class, we would continue to fill this document. If I have been a bit too quick in a few explanations, just you can watch again this video. But I'm sure you are already able to, you understand the logic of my explanation, so you see how it would work for the rest. Bear in mind that this is you can read the questions, the answers, and you would be able to fix all these simple truths, but mysterious, in your mind and in your heart. Thank you for your attention. I'll might see you during the week again. In the name of the Father, of the Son, of the Holy Ghost. Amen. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Ghost, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. In the name of the Father, of the Son, of the Holy Ghost.